Ignite to impact.
Do your emotions and self-doubt get in the way of you reaching your next level of growth for success? Today, we're going to explore what's stopping you from leveling up, and I'm going to share the 5 major steps to take to get out of your own way, so that you can make your next best moves. Hi, I'm Dr. Geneva Williams. I'm a vibrant life coach and business strategist. I help entrepreneurs and executives figure out ways to achieve more success, income, and happiness. Now, odds are, if you're listening today or if you're interested, that you probably have some big goals, some dreams, some audacious things that you want to do, especially if you're an entrepreneur and running your own business. Well, perhaps you've realized as you're going about carrying out these wonderful big dreams and goals that there's a problem. And that is that as you try to implement, it's not as easy all the time as you thought. Perhaps life happens and gets in the way, or perhaps there's some fears or some limiting beliefs that are kind of stopping you in your path. I know my own life changes really got in my business way. About 2 months after I decided to hang out my shingle to run my own business, and I had been running other people's businesses for years in the nonprofit world. But when I decided to do my own thing, about 2 months after I did that, my husband got his first diagnosis of cancer. And so he was my biggest champion. He was my cheerleader. He was the one who said, "Hey, you can go out there and do your own thing," giving me tips and advice, because he was an entrepreneur excellence. I mean, he was just phenomenal in the work that he did and how he ran his business. So the pushing, the drive, the encouragement, all of that came from him. And so with his, cancer and the care, and then he passed after us being together for 40 years, I fell into a deep funk, and I was so fearful and, doubted myself. And, I really didn't know what to do because these fears were just getting in my way. Now, I want to look at some of those fears and see if you can relate to some of the fears or limiting beliefs that we all have that get into our way. But first, I'd like to just take a point of personal privilege here in this conversation. Today is my husband's Otha, his birthday, June 22nd. And if he were still, I want to wish him a heavenly happy birthday. If he was still with us, he would be right now on the golf course. And then we probably, when he finished that, we would probably go to the movies or out to dinner. It was just a favorite thing that we would just love to do. And so I just wanted to pause for a moment and remember him and his wonderfulness, and particularly as I'm talking about this subject, how he helped me with some of these time-proven strategies that I used to not only be successful in my career, but really when I was at my darkest point, being able to turn things around and reimagine my life moving forward. So thank you for letting me take those few moments and to Otha and the wonderful life we had and still have because it's here in my heart. I want to look now at perhaps some of those fears that we have, those limiting beliefs that, you know what they do? They get in the way of us getting to what we want, to our success. So let's look at some of them. One, the fear of saying no, because you don't want to miss the next big thing or the next big opportunity, or you want to people please, whatever it is. That fear of saying no gets in the way. The fear of making decisions, because we got a lot to decide, particularly if you're an entrepreneur, because, an entrepreneur's life is all about solving problems, and every day you're solving problems. So you always have to make decisions. But, making decisions, entrepreneur, executive, leader, mom, whatever it is, that can be kind of scary. And so sometimes when we fear making those decisions, we procrastinate or put things off, like those decisions. That gets in the way of us getting to our next level of success. Another fear is of offending others. And particularly some business owners are really afraid to speak up or talk about their policies or how they write their content if you're on social media, or how you speak to, one person or another, because of this fear and this people pleasing. We're concerned. But as we've talked about before, we were raised to be kind to each other and to help each other. So this sometimes is a natural fear of, we don't want to offend others, but the point is, it gets in our way of going to our next level. And so these fears that we have, and maybe some of these you relate to, like the fear of asking for help. If, to get yourself, to delegate, if you're a business owner or if you're a manager in your firm or your company, there's a fear perhaps because, you fear you're losing control, or maybe it's too complicated to do, or you don't know how to do it. We also have the financial fears that we won't have enough money, that we won't make enough money, or that we'll lose it if we do. And, hey, those financial fears can really also get in the way. And then another one I just want to drop on you is this fear of success. That when we, do something and it's wonderful, that we don't know how to handle all that, wonderfulness or success. And we're not sure that we're capable of handling more as well. So, these lists of fears or limiting beliefs, we could go on and on with that. But let me ask you, can you relate to any of these? Drop a note or a comment, give me some feedback. Let me know if, these fears or limiting beliefs, if you recognize any of them or if you can relate to them. But let me say this. Okay, let me let you know this. If you can relate to them, or you find something that you say, oh yeah, I kind of feel that way sometime, or I'm kind of afraid of this, or uncertain or unsure about this or that. Let me tell you, here's the good news. The good news is you can do something about it. And you, in fact, can, take some steps, some actions to get to your next level. And you can take some time proven steps. Now, so what do I mean about time proven steps? What I mean is steps that work. And that's what I want to share with you today. I want to talk about those steps that have worked for me, that I've used over the past 40 plus years. to get through, not just the good times, but more so to get through the low times, when I felt that there was no way to take that next step. There was no way to make that next best move. I just couldn't do it. That fear, those limiting beliefs were just getting in my way. And so I want to share that wisdom with you. And I'd love to hear what you think. So, step one in what you can do to take yourself to the next level is to get to really know you. Gain insight and understanding about why and what needs to change or improve or grow in your life or your business. Now, this step helps you clear up confusion about who it is you are and what it is that you want to do. This is the step in life where you take to define your purpose, because understanding our purpose helps us know more about who it is we are and what it is we want to do. And let me just say to you, that purpose can shift and change and look a little different as you go through different stages of life. That's okay. But what you want to do is take the step to get to know you, to get clarity about what you want to happen in your own life. So this step of becoming aware is a crucial first step. The second step I'd like you to think about in terms of what might be holding you back from reaching your next level is to take action to minimize distractions and doubt. Okay? Now listen, I know there's probably you've had times when you've been overwhelmed. You didn't know whether you was coming or going. And there's also times that you was overthinking, that you would think about things so much it would go over and over and over in your head that you found yourself almost paralyzed, perhaps not taking action. And these things would distract you and create this self-doubt and bring up that imposter syndrome. By the way, if you want to learn more about that imposter syndrome and how to defeat it, go pick up my book on Unleashing the Fabulous You, where I give you all kinds of strategies. And when you finish with that, you will have your game plan to defeat imposter syndrome and unleash this fabulous you. And that's the point about this step in life. And you really become more intentional when you work on minimizing the doubt and your distractions. You're more intentional. You begin to reframe your situations. Rather than saying, I'm nervous and scared, you talk about being excited about opportunities, so that you're minimizing that doubt. You're minimizing the things that distract you and get in your way. So boosting your focus and making sure that you're on point and sticking to it is an important step. Step number 3, and this is one of my favorites, and that is create a game plan. Develop a system of some intentional actions to stay on track and achieve your goal. This helps so much with uncertainty. And uncertainty, we just living with uncertainty. I want you to know that. I mean, uncertainty is just part of the game these days. It just is. And so, but when we have a game plan, and not that, that game plan is rigid. I ain't talking about something that's rigid. But when we intentionally think about, what do I need to move forward? What do I need to stay on track and achieve my goals? And you develop a strategy. Then as uncertainty comes, you can say, hey, uncertainty, you ain't going to be moving and pushing me, I'm going to change my relationship with you. You can walk beside me because I know you're going to be there, but you ain't overtaking my life because I got my game plan. You know what I'm saying? So creating this game plan, this roadmap is, really something that gives us a life strategy. And, if businesses, now stay with me now, if you're a business owner, or you've studied businesses in any way, anything about business, businesses always talk about strategic planning, creating strategies, creating direction, etc. And they use that to be successful, to make profits, to do their business, to sell their products and services, etc. So if you're in business, you should be doing that too. It's one of the first things when I work with entrepreneurs, I ask them, what's your strategy? Is it the right strategy? Can you execute your strategy? Okay. We talk about strategy first up. Well, that is after we talk about purpose and who are you and what are your values. But it's on the top 3 of conversations, first things in a conversation. So, having that strategy. So if you do it in businesses and businesses do it, why can't you apply that to your life too? You can. And so I see we're having some great comments. You have to excuse me because I am just really I'm probably just, very excited and emotional today. And so I'm trying to just, get out all of this. But I see that Leah has blessed and said happy birthday to Otha, and Ashley is commenting about that first step is yes key. And Alexandria, thank you so much for my necklace. You like that, and saying that I'm on point. Thank you so much. And yes, overthinking can be tough, and it can be really put us into this spin of uncertainty. And yes, let's get that plan. I like what Alexandria says. A plan, a container for the uncertainty. Can I use that, Alexandria? That's like a bumper sticker. I love it. Thank you so much. So this third step, where we define our goals, where we, think about vision, where we put together mission statements for ourselves, where we talk about what is it we need, the resources, where we think about deadlines, all of those kinds of things for a strategy for our life. Now, listen, for those of you who are follow me on YouTube, as you know, I've got 3 or 4 deep conversations on setting goals, mission, vision, all of that. So go over there and check me out. But if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. But, I get into some deep conversation and some how-tos on, creating your vision, how you create your mission, how you can stick to your goals, etc. So this whole idea about, that we want to increase our focus on our goals with less distraction and doubt. These steps all work together, and to be accountable. This is all involved in building a plan. So now this 4th step to help us get on out of your way. Now I want to just do a little thing here. So let me step back on this step. And, and this 4th step is about speaking up. So, when I was growing up, my mom, and I never knew why then, but my mom used to put me in every play, sign me up for every speaking contest, had me stand up in church. Now, let me tell you, had me in the choir. Let me tell you, had me in the choir, and I can't even think about carrying a note. Okay? Had me in the choir, and they had me singing a solo. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, yes, I can see myself now up in that choir singing that solo, not being able to carry a tune. Okay. But she had me, and she exposed me to all these things that had me using my voice and speaking up. Little did I know that I would carry that skill and experience into my career, and it became a cornerstone of my career as I worked with community and articulated solutions to various issues, as I made hundreds of presentations on subjects that mattered to people, and trying to make a better neighborhood, a better community, and make things better for people. It just became, it was just the thing that I've done and do. And when I lost my husband, I lost my voice as well. And I struggled to get back, and I lost my confidence. I doubted myself. I wasn't speaking. And as I was coming back, that's one of the reasons that, when I lost it, I realized its value. You know how sometimes you don't know how important something is until you lose it. And when I realized that I wasn't really speaking up, I wasn't articulating my needs, I didn't understand my purpose, I hadn't reinvented myself yet, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I was totally lost. And one of the things that I needed to do to get back, to go to the next level, was to speak up, to beat my fears about communicating, about speaking. And that's why I named my company Dr. Geneva Speaks, because I wanted to continue the journey to use my voice and to speak up, not just for the messaging that I want to bring, the content I want to deliver, the wisdom I want to drop, but for my own spirit and soul. I needed to be able to articulate to me what was important. So this step of beating those fears about communicating is a real important one. And then step 5, okay, the 5th step, so that something I want you to do so that you, so that you can get out your own way and make your next best move, is to, what do you think it is? What do y'all think it is? Anybody want to drop a comment? Anybody got an idea about what it is? Now, if you all follow me at any point in time, y'all know, and y'all haven't heard me talk about this yet. So it got to be on the list now. Okay? Anybody know? The 5th step, take care of yourself. That's self-care. You've got to make a commitment to develop the activities, the resources for guiltless. Let me say it again. Let's say it together. Drop it in the comments. Guiltless self-care, so that you can enrich your personal and professional life. And so you want these easy, practical approaches, and really they help with life balance. Everybody talks about, this work-life balance, and how am I going to do it? And, and how can I find this perfect balance? Well, the first step is, I'm not sure I believe in perfect balance. However, I do believe in self-care and not spreading ourselves too thin. These practical approaches to taking care of ourselves keeps us from being overwhelmed and spread too thin. And so when we put together a strategy, I'm talking about intentional strategies for our life, so that we feel good, we look good, and we do good for others. And so this step of being well is the 5th step I wanted to leave with you. And let me just also say that, it's a journey. So when we talk about being well, that, there are going to be days when we ain't well. There are going to be days we don't feel good. There ain't going to be days when we just don't want to do nothing. We in the dumps, and that's okay. Being okay is okay. So we want to being well. We want to be constantly in this journey. And there isn't a point where we get to it and we've reached the destination and say, oh, okay, I'm well. Mm-mm. We're constantly changing as human beings. So this being well is a process. It's a journey. So those are the 5 steps that I believe that if you take, you'll really provide a greater investment in yourself. They'll help you deal with your fears and limiting beliefs, because those are the things that get in your way, of you reaching your next level. These 5 steps will help you step into the person you were meant to be with confidence. Hey, step into that room so you own it. So I'd love to hear what you think about any challenges you're having with, getting in your own way or reaching your goals. I think these steps, they've worked for me. They've worked for the clients that I work with and help. They work for business owners and the entrepreneurs that I coach, the executives who are in organizations that I consult with. All of these steps in one way or another are part of the strategies that I use as I work with people to help them reach their next level in life, in business, and whatever it is they want to be successful at. I hope this has been helpful for you. Let me know. Join Extraordinary Women Influencers, where we, get into on Facebook, where we get into some deep conversations about all of this. And if you ain't subscribed to our newsletter that helps you on a weekly basis get gems of wisdom and how you can, and ways that help you figure out your what's next. So join that newsletter. Just sign up for that and enjoy your day. And thank you. And let me know what you think. See you next time. Love you.
Ignite to impact.